that's why these $6,000 monitors I could have saved money on. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Ericson Presents Mixing Tutorials. And today I am going to talk about something that is very, very sad to my heart. You've seen the title. So let's just talk about it. So I've been working for the past 2.5 weeks, probably, with Blake La Grange, and he's been helping me fix the problems in my room. You guys know that I went back and I redid my room. For those who don't know, I'll link that video in the description or somewhere on the screen, and then you can watch that build. So that build was actually pretty good. The only problem that I had with the build was I just needed more bass trapping in my front two corners. So I did that, and then I came back with my readings. Now, you guys probably know I use these Folk House Trio 6Bs, and if you've seen some of my other videos, some of my concerns was that these speakers might be just a little too big for my room. I actually talked to Focal, and I talked to I talked to Focal. I do have that video when I first got them, and a lot of people said that they can be dialed back. Well, after working with Blake, we have discovered through SonarWorks and multiple readings and me adding more bass traps that these monitors are they're not the best speakers for my room. I'm actually going to show you the SonarWorks readings, and I can kind of explain to you why my room can't handle this low end that these speakers let out. So let's go to the Folk House speakers. So here we go. So I actually have to replace a tweeter. This is what this little dip here is one of my tweeters. If you do have these monitors, or you're thinking about getting these monitors, you have to realize that they are magnetized. So when I use the tape measure to measure the distance between the left and the right speaker, well, the tape measure got a hold of the tweeter because the tweeter has a magnet in it. So the magnet, I guess, got a hold of the tape measure and literally pulled it in. So there's a little rip on the speaker that is represented right here. So that needs to be replaced. I don't even know how much that's going to cost, but they're not going to be my main mixing monitors anymore in this room. So therefore, So anyways, if you look here, you're going to see this is not bad at all. Now, SonarWorks, I do have a video that everybody was ripping me to shreds on, and I love it. Keep ripping it. It's fine. SonarWorks works best when you're not doing more than 6 dBs worth of corrections, is what I've learned. So if you have to do more than 6 dB of correction, then you're getting into that stage of where it's not going to be accurate. Now, I've always had a problem with my low end. Now, this right here, this is after I did the added bass treatment, and now that my low end is pretty even. So the bass is taken care of. I believe these are room notes. You can see this huge dip right here. That's a pretty big dip. But it's actually making it to where it's not 100% accurate. I thought it was accurate, but it wasn't. Now, I'll show you the speakers that I am going with, which is my Atom Audios. Now, this one right here, this one isn't that bad. It's not that high here. There's not that huge dip. We're at 1 right here. So to get to flatline, to baseline, is not that bad. They are a little high up here, but it's correcting that. But it is what it is. These monitors, when I actually listened to what he told me to do, and I put them up, the night before I had did my last mix with one of my boys. We were doing a joint mix, and I did them on the Folk House. And when I mixed on my Folk House, I always felt like the mix was good, but I was always second guessing myself as well. Like even with how loud the vocals were, or I was like, man, they kind of feel loud, but I'm not sure. So I was, I was always undercompensating because I just wasn't sure. It was always a feeling like, I don't know. It could be this, could be that. When I did the Adams, so he hit me. He was like, hey, I just think the vocals need to be turned up, but everything else, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it sounds good, but I said, okay. So I pulled it up on the Adams because now that the vocals are out of the picture, the Adams are here now. Pull those up. And immediately I'm looking at the computer like, what happened? I literally was looking like, what happened? Why are the vocals so low? Why is everything so out of balance? And it stood out to me like a sore thumb. Like literally, like it was so obvious that the mix was wrong. And I was just floored. So then I told my boy, I said, hold on. Look, let me just mix this again and I'll just get the balance right real quick. Mixed it. I mean, the kick wasn't kicking hard enough. The 808 was too loud. I just readjusted. It took about 10 minutes. It wasn't even that long. Send it back to him. I said, all right, I think it's cool. So just check it out. His first response was, yeah, it's right. Yeah. So that kind of floored me because I've been mixing on these focals for a while. And maybe that's why some of my mixes I always felt wasn't ready. It is what it is. But now I'm mixing very confidently right now. Like it's like a strong, this is where the vocals needs to sit and it's not too loud. Like it is literally like that. So then I took this reading back to Blake. He was excited about that. And then he said, that's a really good reading. But then I also told him I had the CLA 10s and I have some mixed cubes. So Blake wanted me to do a shootout of all of my studio monitors. So I did. So then I came with the CLA 10s. So these were my CLA 10s. So he felt that these monitors like look the best as far as like the frequency goes. So he said that if I wanted to use the Adams, I could as my main monitors, or I can use the CLA 10s with a subwoofer. I do have a subwoofer, so I came back. Well, he hasn't seen this reading yet, but I did it, and I'm not going with this combination because when I added the subwoofer, I literally got that same dip, if not even more, with the sub. To fix this problem, he told me that I needed to move the speakers further away from me, and that would just eliminate the problem. Well, because my room is so small, I can't move them further away from me. So that's why the speakers are too big for my room. Yeah, that explains it. So if these speakers were further away from me, then the focals would definitely be my main mixing monitors because the stereo field is like no other. And the attention to detail. So basically, I haven't even heard these monitors' full capabilities yet. It's pretty much what I'm saying, and that's pretty crazy. But when I do get that chance, that's gonna be dope. So he also told me to do the mixed cubes too, so I did. As you can see, there's no low end, but at least we know what it's doing. So his suggestion to me was to go to. Actually, this is the new Adam reading. I did that before. After I did everything, I put the Adams back up, and then I got a new reading. So it's practically the same, just a little bit different. So his suggestion was to use the Adams with the correction on. As a secondary monitor, go to the mix cubes, as is, no correction. And then when I want to just feel the music super loud, then we just go with the focals. Untreated, unfixed as well. So it is what it is. That's just how it's going to be. That's how I'm going to have to rock them until I move into a bigger facility, that is actually the goal. I do home videos, but mixing in a bigger room is actually the goal for me. So that is where we're heading. So eventually we will get there, and obviously I will take you guys on that journey. But what I have found out now that the room is tuned perfect for my mixing situation is that you really don't need all of these plugins that like every plugin that pops up, that it's like like people are going plugin crazy. Like you actually don't need a lot of that. You can get a lot done with an EQ, one simple EQ, maybe a coloring EQ, a simple compressor, and a coloring compressor. You can get a lot done, and obviously a limiter. But one of my friends, he called me yesterday, or texted me yesterday, and didn't call me, but he was asking me about the Soothie 2 plugin, because he was thinking about getting it. He knew I had it. I actually introduced him to it, and the reason why he wanted it was like, I was trying to figure out like, well, the reason why you want it is because you can't hear the harsh frequencies in the songs that you're mixing, or you're trying to get them out of there, pretty much. Like you're trying to fix the audio. So yeah, he couldn't hear him because his room wasn't tuned correctly. And that's what I was trying to explain to him. I'm like, well, you would do better off taking that $200 and just putting it into treating your room than getting that plug-in. Because if you treated your room, like those frequencies that are harsh would stand out like a sore thumb. Like you'll hear them like no other. And then a simple EQ, like your DAW's simple, like EQ, like the one that comes with your DAW, can get that frequency out, the same frequency that the Soothie plugin gets out. Don't get me wrong, the plugin is good. I just think now that my mind has been just open to a whole nother world, that it's made for people who don't either A, know how to find the problem frequencies, or B, is wanting to speed up their workflow and don't want to have to go find it. But all of this can be done with just a simple EQ. It's crazy, right? Yes, it is. So yeah, mixing now is like, like music to me is so fun now because I hear it correctly. I mean, damn. I was like, damn, was I really off that much? But I was, because I never felt like this when I was mixing. Like I can get the balance very quickly. So yeah, there you have it. That's why these $6,000 monitors I could have saved money on. I didn't need it. So for those who actually are thinking about getting better monitors for their room and spending a ton of money, like you might not have to. You might just simply need to go and get a nice pair of monitors that are smaller that fits the size of your room. But these monitors are clearly too big. It is what it is. All right, anyway, I'm back. I got 80 video topics that I have written down so that I can do. 80. I actually wrote them all out because I was running out of ideas. So I haven't really been putting videos up. But I got 80 of them. So I got to start filming. But it is what it is. So we're going to start getting a little more consistent again. Anyhow, any questions, leave your comments back down below if you had this problem with your room. How did you solve it? How do you love your room? Is your room perfect? Do you think that your room is perfect for your music that you mix? Like, let me know, because I do. I do now. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one.